Hello and welcome to the first filmed episode we are doing at Subcon. At the Subcon show, Chatty Hatter with our That Engineering Chat podcast, where we've been asked by Subcon to come along and talk to some really interesting individuals. We've done some audio versions this morning. We have an amazing crew that I'm looking at, very beautiful, who are going to be filming us. And we thought, who are we going to talk to first? And Subcon suggested that we talk to Phillip Anthony from DP Engineering. Hello.
Hello, and you got the short straw then?
Well, I don't know. Did I get the short straw?
Hopefully not.
I don't think I did.
We'll get away with it.
Now, your role, let's talk about your role within the company, DP Engineering Limited. You are sales and marketing, is that right?
I am, yeah.
So you're going to be the man to talk to. I mean, look, I'm marketing, you're marketing. You're going to know everything that needs to be said about anything.
Yeah, well, I'd like to call myself a people person, I suppose.
A people person, that's what I like. And is this your first Subcon event?
This is our third Subcon event.
Third Subcon event.
3 years in a row.
And those have been some quite interesting years.
Last year was interesting for sure. For sure, yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Tell us a bit about DP Engineering first of all. Then we'll talk a bit about you. Then we'll talk a bit about the last 3 years.
Yeah, no
so
problem.
for those, just treat us all like we know nothing.
Yep.
All of us that are listening, because this will come out after the show. We're not live. Tell everyone a bit about DP Engineering and what you do.
Yeah, so DP Engineering, we're a subcontract precision engineering company. We'll take a company's drawing, we'll turn that a product into some sort of widgets out of different materials.
Yeah.
Using CNC manufacturing techniques on our different machine tools for the business.
That's very precise. Thank you very much.
It's like I rehearsed it.
I know. It's very good. It's like, wow, okay, that's brilliant. And how long have you been?
I've been with the company for 8 years now.
So you've been there 8 years. And now we were talking a bit about this earlier. We had a little chat, didn't we, before we came on? And you were saying that one of the things that's quite important to you to get across in this chat is that you didn't come in, well, look, it's not the traditional way of coming into a company, is it? But people seem to think that. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
So I've been in the company 8 years, started as an apprentice,
Yeah.
Thought engineering was all about making bits, which to be fair is a big part of it. I then worked around different departments, and then eventually I got the short straw, ended up dealing with also the customer and the people side of the business, and then kind of took the outward facing sort of role.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise those sort of roles existed within manufacturing. So I think it's quite key to try and shout about different ways you can get into the industry, what different roles are in the industry, so we keep manufacturing for youngsters coming through. Otherwise, we're not UK manufacturing without people coming through.
No, absolutely not. And like you said,
yeah.
you're an apprentice, and you were saying earlier that a lot of people seem to think they need to go to university. Not that we're not advocating going to university and getting a degree, but at the same time, you could do an apprenticeship, and there are lots of different roles within manufacturing and engineering that we desperately need.
We're a team of 38 people, so we're not a massive company. So we're very. Once we're within the team, where the skill stays within the business, it's very, we like to say we bleed DP, so we're very, passionate about what we do. Yeah. So it's really, it's getting across to different people that you're not going to get dirty at work, you're not going to get covered in oil. Yeah. We're using some real high-tech machines, both for manufacturing and inspection, and there's a load of different roles within the business which people can take. Yeah.
And I mean, the company does share a certain birthday with someone quite important that we've just been celebrating at the weekend.
It goes our birthday, then it goes the Queen's birthday. But we do
in that order. But
yes, it is our 70th year this year, which we're quite pleased about.
That's amazing. 70 years. That's a real accomplishment, isn't it?
Been going a long time.
So did you have a big celebration other than coming to Subcon, obviously?
We'll say Subcon's our celebration.
Subcon.
And obviously speaking on this podcast today.
Oh, I like what you did there. That's definitely not going to get edited out. You could definitely stay on that. But 70 years, what would you say has kept you going as a business for 70? How have you managed? You must have weathered many storms, none so quite as extreme as the last few years, but how have you managed to kind of, it's quite an achievement.
Yeah, I think for us, we're quite loyal to our customers. Our customers are quite loyal to us as well.
Yeah.
We like to bring people into the kind of DP team.
Yeah.
So once they're on board, it's quite nice to progress with them and get new business from those sort of opportunities. And solving people's problems really, and delivering what we say we're going to do.
And what would you say have been some of the problems that have been coming up for the last, certainly, look, I mean, like you say, the last few years, I mean, where do we start? But what have been some of the problems that have been coming up that you've been having to try and solve for people?
The biggest thing for us, ourselves, is probably skill.
Is it?
Getting the right skill into the building. We now go down the trainee route and train people ourselves.
Do you?
But because you can't find anyone off the shelf, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that's probably been our biggest challenge the last couple of years, is finding the right people.
So then you've probably had to develop like in-house skills kind of
we've
systems or processes, have you?
Yeah, we've got our own internal process anyway, internal training plans, but we're investing in new technology to try and eliminate that kind of gap.
Yeah.
So newer machines, newer equipment, that kind of, not run themselves, but you've got the ability to kind of run unmanned if you need to.
So when you come to a show like Subcon, obviously you said this is your third one. I mean, this is our first. This is your third. So, I mean, what is it you're expecting and hoping to get out of this show? What are the conversations that you want to be having with people? Or is it just getting, new business relationships with people?
Yeah, it's a very good question, to be fair. It's a tricky one to answer.
I know, I like to throw them in there.
For us, we've gone since 1952 it's all about getting our brand out there now, making people aware that we exist. It's already paying off that people have come back today and noticed us from last year.
Good.
This pays for itself straight away, knowing that.
Brilliant. And so last year, how was last year's show? You said it was quite busy last year.
It was busier than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It seemed quiet, but we got quite a few relationships we built up, some good leads, but it was probably the wrong time for us. This year's kicked off a bit slower, but hopefully it's going to pick up a bit more.
And what are your plans for the next sort of, once this show? Have you got any more shows that you've got planned, or is this the main one that you were doing? And then what will you be doing when you finish Subcon?
This has been our main show, but I think it's probably pushed us to look at other shows now.
Has it?
Trying to get out across the UK, because we've always come down to the Midlands. Or up to the Midlands, I should say.
Yeah.
So we might maybe try a different location.
Where are you
possibly
based?
Down south in Cornwall.
Cornwall, I love Cornwall.
I would say sunny, but I think it's hammering down with rain today.
Is it?
It is a nice place.
Like
I shouldn't complain much.
A nice ice cream as well.
Very nice, and pasties, of course.
And pasties, of course. Although when I went crabbing with my kids, there was no crab, so I was quite upset about that. It's at certain times of year anyway. Anyway, that's another podcast. With Cornwall, that was quite a trek for you to come up here. Yes, I should think there's a few shows that probably you could do as well.
I think any location's probably a good location coming out of there, but it's it's a good place, but there's some good stuff happening down in Cornwall. We're manufacturing stuff for the aerospace industry. There's some other great manufacturers with their own product down in Cornwall. It's not just the beaches, the sandcastles, ice creams. There's some,
I know, that's just me being silly.
Oh, no, we say it all the time. That's how we get people down.
You bribe them with ice cream.
Mainly pasties, to be fair.
Oh, okay. I've got to stay off the pasties. Not good for the waistline.
There's some great stuff happening down in Cornwall and within UK manufacturing itself.
And talk about the aerospace as well, because you just touched on that, but that's an industry for you, isn't it? It
is, yeah. We've been working for the aerospace for the last 15 years. AS 9100 accredited.
Which is a big deal, right?
For a smaller company trying to have that as an overhead, it does take a lot of work. But we're passionate to have that accreditation.
I bet.
Been a bit of a tricky 2 years with the aerospace.
I was going to say,
but things are kind of picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit's probably a bit too much, but
yeah. What other industries? What other sectors?
The main industries, oil and gas, medical, subsea, marine.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that we can kind of make a profit at and make good service at, we'll have a go at.
Goodness me. Okay.
We'll have a go.
So, people that want to get in touch with you, where's the best place for them to reach you?
Probably LinkedIn. We're quite strong on LinkedIn. We've got quite a lot going on there. There's a lot about a company on my profile itself. A lot of videos about the company, what we do.
Brilliant.
All about meet the team and whatnot. So
that's
and obviously today we're at stand E128. So pop over.
Stand 128.
You got
128. So 128.
E128.
E128. Goodness me, honestly.
But I got it wrong then.
I know. But obviously people can see this after this, so they won't have been.
That's very true.
But they can definitely find you on LinkedIn. And you must have a website.
We have got a website, of course. Yeah, you can find that through obviously LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
We have got a website with all information about what we do and our team and whatnot.
So, and any advice for anyone coming along, you know, I mean, what have the sort of things been coming up for it's the first day, so it's always a bit quieter sometimes the first day. Then, you know, I'm expecting it to be a bit busier tomorrow. But what have been the kind of conversations you've been having, or the kind of questions you've been asked?
The people we spoke to so far, it's all been about reshoring.
Has it?
Which has been quite interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of expected, but quite interesting to see it come through.
Yeah.
Which,
and have you been doing that?
We have done quite a bit so far the last probably 12, 18 months. We're seeing more and more of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the case of the UK are more expensive anymore. I think it's definitely plateaued a bit in that sense for overseas markets.
Okay, that's interesting. Is there anything you've not told me that I need to know about? I mean, come on, you are sales and marketing, so... I mean, I'm feeling like you've got a lot out, but there might be a bit more.
It possibly is. It's just trying to find it, I suppose.
You've got all these people that haven't maybe been able to get to the show and see you. They're listening, captivated and watching right now.
I think we've got a 3-minute company video, I suppose, that tells everything you need to know, I suppose.
There you go. Go and watch the 3-minute company video for DP Engineering Limited. Thank you so much for coming on talking to me. It's lovely to meet you.
Thanks for being your first one.
Have an amazing show.
And you.
All right, take care.